Hello, and welcome to the Holy Collective. I am Loki Legionson, and this is the path of Lokeanism. Enjoy. So as we give, so shall we receive. And if it is in the highest good for all of life everywhere, and not just focus on ourselves all the time, we should reevaluate our material possessions and our attachments to these temporary objects and adapt them accordingly. We have the capability and technology to feed every person in the world and the knowledge to provide a means of self-expression, self-worth, shelter, education away from nonsense, and wealth for all people everywhere to live comfortably if we wish and choose to do so. However, we are enslaved and made to work jobs that a computer could do. And whilst the computer is busy at work, we could be enjoying our lives. However, we are kept in the dark and kept in fear. Now, this fear can be viewed as a good thing. It allows a sort of test. And the only way to pass a test is to take a test. Look at each test as an opportunity for betterment or as a possible upgrade. As long as we maintain a good and proper attitude throughout each test, pass or fail, we will have learned what we needed to take from a particular situation. And with each test comes many temptations. And these temptations appeal to our senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell, and are extremely seductive and luring, like the siren's call. These temptations are a good thing because they let you know that you're on the proper path. If you pass each test, you may be tempted again to check your stability. But eventually, these temptations pass, and then we will be presented with newer forms of temptation. And everything is a test. And if we fail a test, we will continue to be rerouted and eventually be tested again. And yet, these tests come when we get comfortable. So we must learn to stay comfortable with the uncomfortable unknowingness of change. After all, change is inevitable, and we should always be ready because, like death, it can come at any time, and it always will. So our acceptance of change and the unknowing of what will become is key to our experience of present awareness. And this is not easy, because we fall into patterns to appease our hungry sensory perceptions. And when we stop giving in and falling victim to our own desires of satisfaction, we thence become present. That's what pain and suffering is for, which is exactly why negativity is sometimes necessary. But because it goes against our comfort zones, we tend to despise pain and suffering. And this is why we remain ignorant and grasping at answers. Anything we can do to stay numb and comfortable, huh? Now, by staying comfortably numb and ignorant, that makes us replay our past and allow that past to set the present into motion and thus re-experience a past event or situation for the future. And that's why history repeats itself. Because our thoughts carry energy, and that energy, with much intention, will manifest and unfold for us the events and conditions by which we attach to it. So we therefore continue to recreate modified versions of past events. And we wonder why nothing or no thing ever really changes for us. We must strive to pull ourselves out of that continuous loop cycle and to learn the difference between observing what is taking place and unfolding, as we have previously ordered it, and to stop judging these events and conditions with the filters of a past experience. We can't really progress nor upgrade that much if we are always recycling our past, unless we like that loop. It takes true willpower, which most of many of us haven't the discipline for, or are ignorant of, or have been taught to ignore. Sometimes we ourselves are our best teachers and students, and other times we need help or even a slight push to wake up. We should look at everything and every experience, along with all of its positive, negative, and neutral conditions, as an opportunity for spiritual enrichment. Everything is working on our best behalf because we care about our own behalf, and that sends out energy which will be returned to us as we have intended. It doesn't always come as immediate gratification, but be patient and don't give up nor end your life by your own hand, nor anyone else's. So keep pressing. Understand that you are not bound to any specific thought, and this will allow you to easily find a perspective that is less reactive and more compassionate and understanding. Habits or addictions are merely a way to try to make us feel better, to find well-being or peace of mind. We must realize that we already have within ourselves the well-being, happiness, and compassion and love that we are searching for. We must also realize that beneath the surface, we already have these positive feelings that already exist within our own consciousness. And therefore, this will allow us to end our attempts to find those feelings through the habit or the addiction. Cravings are just the result of a particular change in our thinking, and we can make the choice not to engage that kind of thought, thus ending our cravings. The true process of habit change is already found in the spiritual essence of our being. We have the potential to realize our true spiritual nature, and we can transcend habits and compulsions. We must look forward to the wisdom and well-being that is your true spiritual nature and embrace it. Unwanted thoughts and behaviors are the obstacles to what we want for ourselves. Many of us feel that we are powerless, mere victims of our habitual patterns. This is not accurate. Habits and addictions take away from us the life in which we desire, and they become the ammunition in which we use against ourselves. For humans are designed to thrive, and feeling good is our nature. And so we instinctively look to return there when we're not there. We try and we struggle to end our unwanted habits and addictions. Often ends in frustration and hopelessness. Our habits of addiction are an impersonal, thought-based experience that can be addressed without reoccurring and stirring up your past or analyzing life. It's not about the lack of willpower or discipline, and it has nothing to do with being ignorant of triggers or not using the right coping mechanisms. Rather, ending your habits of addiction is about deeply connecting with the truth of who you are and deeply seeing the true nature of your habit and yourself. For we must embrace the truth of who we are, yet the truth cuts both ways. Our habits and addictions are rooted in an attempt to feel better and to ignore the pain and suffering in which we endure. All habits and addictions start as a way to not feel what we're feeling and a way to leave the present moment, often by numbing it out in some way and returning to a more peaceful, calm base or foundation which is bound to crumble. Our habits and addictions are misguided attempts to feel more comfortable within our own skin. And most times they are incredibly effective, yet we lose everything striving for that numbness. We seek to be understood. We want to be helped. We want to know our place in this world. That's why we're always trying to figure things out. That's why we're always striving to get to the next bridge. That's why we're always striving to cross that bridge. We're always wanting to know what happens next. We're never okay with uncertainty. However, if we become okay with that uncertainty, we can see the true illusions, lures, and distractions that lie before us. Now, we must maintain a sense of zero-point fixation or understanding to be able to see the differences between the light, darkness, the positive, and the negative.